Hey everyone, this is Clark Chapeth, and today you're gonna listen in a 5 minute or six about what I have learned about gender, society, and culture. Of course, we are not just going to talk about sex and gender, but to surrounding issues related therein. Like for example, its social and cultural aspect, the gender development, as well as the issues that many men and women have been experiencing, particularly about toxic masculinity and beauty myth. So let's start. For one, it is important to know the difference between sex and gender, and it starts in their definition. Gender is a matter of culture and refers to masculinity and femininity of an individual, while sex refers to biological differences between men and women. Masculinity and femininity are gender categories, whereas male and female are sex categorizations. The concept of gender lies to behavioral difference between the two sexes since it culturally based and socially learned. Therefore, we can say that gender is a social construct. For example, a child is born with a particular sex organ and not with the assumption of how he or she must behave or how would he or she must dress. Because of the social norms, rules, and regulations, the gender manifests itself. Perhaps this is because of the enculturation and socialization process. Enculturation is a process by which an individual adapts to the culture and learn to fulfill the functions of his own status and role, whereas socialization is how the society integrates its members, by which individuals learn to adapt. So basically, being born is to have an identity as a member of a society and receiver of a culture. It is undeniable that the first influence of the child is his or her family. Of course, there is already a system of beliefs, rules, relationships, and many more ascriptive characters which the notion of gender is being imbibed to the mind of the child. So like in home, we would hear such phrases such as ayaw gud og pagbilangkad kababay nimong dako or ayaw gud og binayot-bayot, ayaw hila kay di kababay. So like this seems very problematic as the child grows up and this is the kind of environment that he or she has to live, being forced to not feel, to not express, to suppress whatever he wants to act, to discover his or her identity. In the long process, the child may inherit this kind of mindset later on in life, but lucky for those who have change of heart. So this is the issue that I think very trivial to some actually, because it is a huge problem because it involves the development of an individual as a member of society. So for women, they have always been taught to look nice, to be pretty, and what for? I mean, there is a lot of expectations towards women, and now having them think that beauty is the most important is essentially wrong. The problem with the standards of beauty is in its very existence because it makes women feel less about themselves, and now they do everything just to be accepted by the society, which is a patriarchal, by the way. They comb hair for every minute. They even sacrifice their health just to achieve the body goal. They spend huge amount of money to have an intense plastic surgery. It also devalues women of color because it is a Western standard. They really started it all. Wearing makeup is equal to competency and trustworthiness, and wearing too much makes them look stupid. So this is a kind of standard that is unachievable, and thus making it a myth. We have to understand that beauty is subjective, and every one of us is beautiful in their own way. For boys, they had to be strong or aggressive, not to show emotions because yeah, they were told to do so, believing that it is part of their nature. You know that it is a toxic masculinity, and with that, boys would would really show their strength through violence. And because they were taught that real men should not cry, they suppress any type of emotions. And even if they feel the need to kill themselves. Toxic masculinity produces bad fathers. Toxic masculinity continues to objectify women. Toxic masculinity makes achieving gender equality impossible because of the horrors that most men do, such as rape, suicide, murder. No, we must change toxic masculinity into better masculinity. Better masculinity are men that treats women as equal with respect. They are against of discrimination and are open to show emotions. At the end of the day, good men will become honest husbands and strong fathers. And this is the kind of characters that we should teach young men so they can become a good man. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you have learned something. Thank you. See you next time. Peace out.